how we solve it. Now, one way we're going to try and solve it is we need to like remove the transparency. Now, you can either use which I think is a quick, like the best fix at this point. All you have to do is that you can change the background color of the navbar to what? To white. Sorry? The thing is that we are not actually using white. We are using, let me tell you what the background. The background that you are seeing right here is the background of the web page and not the background of this navbar. So this navbar does not exactly have a background color. It is just using the background that it's met from the web page. So we need to give that navbar its own background so that whenever we now scroll, it is automatically going to detect it. So now, if we give it a background color of white, now what are we going to see? We're not going to see that it is now going to pass under it without any background issue. You have a question? Okay. Sorry? To black. Yeah, it's going to change to black. That particular part is not going to change to black. So you see it. That is now you see what I'm trying to tell you that this the number that I have seen before does not exactly it does not have a background color. The background color is just imitating this one that you are seeing here. So until you put its own background color, it's going to assume the background color of what? Of the body. So that's how it is. So I'm going to remove this max width. I want it to like fit the whole page. I'm also going to remove this border radius. Then I'm going to make it the top of 0 instead of 1 pixel because I don't want to have anything to any issue at the top. Then we're going to give it a color of white, a background of white instead of black. And then if we refresh this now, so now that is that about that. As you can see, we now have this is going to do for you. I hope you all understand it now. Is it clear? Do you understand? Clear? Is it clear? Clear. Mr. Please remind me. I should say, yeah. Is it clear? Or is still looking a little bit uh, new to you? Or what's the English again? Okay, is it clear? Ma? Ma? Okay, fine. Very, very good question. That's a very good question. So now, one thing about your browser is that sometimes it automatically gives you like an automatic margin and padding. So it happened in our last class whereby a particular element just add margin and padding. That's margin, especially margin spaces around automatically. So one thing that I always advise people to do when you start building is to automatically set your margin and padding on your body to 0. Set it to 0 first. So that when you now start adding those margin and padding yourself, you now add it to their respective elements. You understand? So what am I saying? So first of all, you can go ahead and come to your body. So let's just say body. So you give it a margin of what? 0, margin 0, and then you're also going to give it a what? A padding of what? 0. Do you understand it now? So automatically, this is going to, as you can see, it has removed it. So there was an automatic margin before. When I gave the body a margin of 0 and padding of 0, it removed it for me. So now I cannot go ahead and give this element the margin I want myself, rather than the body giving me an automatic margin and padding. Is it clear to you now? So that's one thing about our distance. Clear? Can we move on? because you gave it a position of fixed. Let me remove this position of fixed for you and let us see what we have. See? So one thing about position of fixed is that it just automatically gives you that content mark. So you don't have to like always have. So now if you now use the max width, you cannot change the max width to like so let's use the max width now. Max width of what can we use? So let's use max width of max content or so. Max content. Let's give it 100%. And let's see what we have. So now it's still not working. No, I'm going to give it 100 BW. Instead of using marking, I can use what's name. So now, one thing about this fit content is that automatically your position of fixed will fit the content. You understand? So you don't have to always use the max width again. But if you want to increase the width, you can also go ahead and use what width of like 100 or 50 or 150 or 2. Do you understand it now? That's one thing about for position of fixed. Any other question? So those online, please you understand this is clear to you, or you have a question. If it is clear, please give me a thumbs up. And if it is not, you can just go ahead and state your question in the chat box. Okay, Mr. Vincent, please go ahead and type your question in the chat box. It's clear. Okay. I don't know. I've not seen Mr. Kelvin. Is he? He's here. I've not seen him in class for a while. Mr. Kelvin, is it clear to you? Okay. Okay, it's clear. Right. So moving on. Let us move on to the next part. So now the next one is going to be your relative. Now, what is relative? Now, your relative is, I feel like, is the basis of every. I feel that relative is like the major thing about position, because this is exactly what allows you to move elements from one position to another. You understand it now? So that's what relative is. Now, your relative positioning allows an element to be moved relative to its normal position. What is saying basically, what this English is saying, is that it allows you to move a particular element from its normal position to another position. So that's what gives you the free will of moving position from point A to point B. You understand? So what it does, like the element that occupies its original space, other elements are not affected. So it allows you to move elements from one particular space to another. So what exactly are we saying? For instance, let's take this one as an example, this ELA as an example. Let's say I want to move this ELA from here straight up to this particular place. How exactly am I going to do that? So one thing that I can do is that I can give this particular element. So I'm not just going to go up and give that element. So this element, let me give it a class name so that I can specify it. Let me give an ID rather. Let's say spec. Now, I cannot specify this particular ID. So let's say hash spec. Yeah. Specify a particular ID. I can give it a position of what? Position of relative. Now, that is all you have to do. Position of what? Relative. Now, the position of relative now gives me the will I say the power to move that particular element from one place to another. And I said you have 4 position properties. What are those 4 properties? Top, bottom, right, left. Now that is what you're not going to use in moving from the left to the right, from the top to the bottom. Now, automatically this element is on the what? So on the left. So if I want to move it to the right, how will I move it to the right? How will I move it to the right? Anybody? If you are trying to move something to the right, where are you moving it from? Good. That means you have to move it away from the left. So what will you do? So left hit the, but in this case, you might just move it to the middle. You have to move it totally to the right. So it can be left 100% or left 90%. Now, if I say left of 90%, now what exactly I don't have? It automatically moves it to sorry? I don't think it moved. So I'm coming. Let me check my ID of spec. Let's walk actually. You know what? Let's try right. Let's try right of 0. So now you can also use right of 0 to move it away from. Yes, I duplicated that, but that's why I gave this. Only this one an ID or spec. No, I'm going to like delete the others. Let's delete the others. So now, instead of using spec, I'm just going to use ing. Good. Now let us start moving it little by little. So I'm going to say left of, and let's see what we have. Pixels. Let's just pixel. I think pixels should go. Pixels is working. So let's give me a right of 0 pixels and let's see what we have. No. Left of 400 pixels. Good. This is what I don't want, but we don't have a choice. 1000 pixels. So let's say 1200 pixels. Now, that is exactly what we were looking for. Let's say 1180 pixels. Very good point. 40 rem. 80 rem. Good. So let's give it 70 instead. 70 should go. All right, so now we'll move it. But this is not what I want. I want to use, I think we should still be able to use percentages. So let us try left of 70%. Should still be able to use percentages. Exactly, we should be able to use percentages. Now let us try 90% and let's see what we have. All right, so now 85%. So perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. So what we want to do is that what we want to move a particular element from here to here. What do you use? Relative. Do you understand that? That's what relative does for you. So as you can see, I've been able to move this pillar from here to this place. You understand that? I can also move pillar from here to here to here to here, depending on what I want to do. But one interesting thing about relative is that if you are moving elements, you feel like this space is it empty? Yes or no? This space is empty, right? As you can see. But one thing about relative is that it is not empty. This particular space is still attributed to this element here, meaning that no element except to give that same element of located, except to give that element position of absolute, no element can stay here. You understand it now? That is what this particular explanation here is saying. That the element still occupies its original space. But the only thing that happened is just moved it. But that space still belongs to that element. So any other element that's going to come has to come after. So you get it now. That's what relative is talking about. So again, relative allows you to what? Move elements relative to its what? to its normal position. Any question or relative? Do we understand relative? Is it clear? Mr. David, is it clear? Are you sure it's clear? Or you're just trying to get it. It's fine if it is not clear. I can explain it again. Okay. So that is what relative is all about. Any question before we move on to absolute? I'm going to give us a little bit of break for us to like understand what this relative is and also to write the codes that we've written down so far. If you have any question, please